Even stronger evidence the evolutionary dating scheme is seriously flawed concerns the concrete fact that scientists have excavated dinosaur remains featuring quickly disintegrating soft body parts, such as flexible blood vessels, red blood cells, collagen, actin, tubulin, histones, hemoglobin, and DNA still intact. As secular scientist Mary Schweitzer first observed in 1997 and published in 2005, a thin slice of T-Rex bone glowed amber beneath the lens of my microscope. Blood vessel channels snake through a bone matrix, and tiny chambers known as lacunae, which house bone-forming cells, appeared as small ovals. Then a colleague took one look at them and shouted, "You got red blood cells, you got red blood cells." Schweitzer said it was totally shocking. The bones are, after all, 65 million years old. How could a blood cell survive that long? I didn't believe it until we tested it 17 times. This slide shows some of the still fresh, soft, fibrous, and elastic flesh, as well as blood vessels and red blood cells that have been recovered from dinosaur bones. As Schweitzer said in 2009, when you think about it, the laws of chemistry and biology and everything else that we know say that should be gone, should be degraded completely. Another soft tissue discovery in 2009 concluded the fossilized leg of a hadrosaur yielded the oldest known proteins preserved in soft tissue, including blood vessels and other connective tissue, as well as perhaps blood cell proteins. In 2016, the fossilized brain of an iguanodon dinosaur is found with still fresh tissue. In 2017, protein was extracted from a supposedly 195 million year old Lafungosaurus dinosaur bone, startling scientists. The find was so amazing the scientific team said they used every method at their disposal to verify the discovery, and it seems to hold up. In January 2020, secular scientists admitted finding cartilage cells, chromosomes, and DNA preserved in 75 million year old baby duck-billed dinosaur bone. Fossilized sauropod eggs were also recently discovered in the Yunnan province of China, and the baby developing inside the egg was so well preserved that protein has been identified inside their tiny, supposedly 190 million year old bones. These discoveries are extremely significant since balanced and unbiased research has demonstrated soft parts cannot last for more than several thousand years if carefully preserved in rock under normal temperature. Even evolutionists who have conducted experiments including the most favorable environmental conditions and assumptions, including an unrealistically consistent negative 20 degree Fahrenheit surrounding temperature, have found the maximum soft tissue preservation time frame is 6.8 million years, which is only about 1/10 the time required to support their dating scheme. Scott Woodward confirmed that, under normal physiological conditions, it would be extremely rare to find preserved DNA that was tens of thousands of years old. As Schweitzer has asked, cells are usually completely degraded soon after the death of an organism. So how could bone cells and the molecules that comprise them persist in Mesozoic, evolutionary age dinosaur bone? Evolutionists' explanations for this dilemma, including bacterial biofilms, sample contamination, DNA condensation, crystal minerals in bone, which eliminate destructive enzymes, as well as protein preservation through iron cross-linking and antioxidation, have been far from convincing, and some have actually been shown false in detail by scientists such as Schweitzer. In reality, the existence of DNA, another easily destroyed cellular material, in dinosaur bone not only challenges, but absolutely demolishes the evolutionary dating scheme. On the other hand, these amazing discoveries are entirely consistent with the biblical time frame for this planet. Representing the shock of evolutionists, award-winning science journalist Alan Boyle stated, "Today, paleontologists are still stunned, not only to find material that looks like dinosaur cartilage, blood vessels, blood cells, and bone cells, but to see the stuff in so many different specimens." In fact, as of May 2020, 85 separate secular scientific articles have admitted the recovery of verified soft body parts from at least 112 individual creatures allegedly fossilized between many millions and 3.5 billion years ago, and this number continues to grow each year now that scientists are actually looking for soft tissue. In addition to dinosaurs, fresh flesh has been discovered across the world and throughout the geologic column in various fossilized organisms, including birds, mammals, plants, reptiles, fish, amphibians, clams, insects, other arthropods, sponges, and worms. Examples of reported non-dinosaur fossilized soft tissue include a frog with bloody bone marrow, pliable salamander muscles, cuttlefish chitin, lizard tail skin, bird feather pigment structures, melanocytes, bone collagen and keratin, mammal hair, squid ink, crinoid pigments, fresh shrimp muscle, tube worm chitin fibers, plant lignin, tree cellulose, tree chloroplast genes, termite nuclear and mitochondrial DNA, magnolia leaf DNA, reptile blood vessels, turtle osteocytes, unaltered insect amino acids, fungal chitin, and incredibly, even several separate cases of still living bacteria. In another recent discovery shocking the evolutionary worldview, 3.5 billion-year-old stromatolite fossils with fresh tissue that are identical in form to living stromatolites were found by secular scientists within rocks from the Dresser Formation in Western Australia. If these fossils, which are claimed to be one of the first living organisms on Earth, haven't physically evolved in 3.5 billion years, then there is no good reason to believe they ever have in the past or will in the future. It's also completely beyond reason to believe fresh organic matter can remain essentially undecayed for such a massive period of time. Despite the evidence rising against their theory, evolutionists are firmly committed to their dating scheme and therefore have been forced to accept the highly illogical conclusion that easily disintegrated cellular components and soft flesh can survive in recognizable form for 3.5 billion years. In reality, while this exciting and growing proof presents serious problems for evolutionists, the facts mesh well with the approximately 6,000-year biblical timeline.